right now, it's time to talk to LSU head baseball coach Jay Johnson. He's so kind. He makes time for us every single Thursday here on OTB. Coach, what's going on? How's everyone feeling this morning after a very successful night in Houston?
Well, I'm sure the players are feeling good because they're still asleep right now. No, we're doing good. Excited for a good day. Get over there and practice this afternoon and keep it rolling.
So we'll dive into last night's game, Coach, and I want to start with Kate Anderson because obviously, right, and just another lefty. There seems to be a limitless supply of them on this team this year. But what I want to talk about is what you saw mentally out of Cade last night, where he has the smooth start. And then the third, a few defensive wobbles lead to, an inning that it ends up having to work a little bit. But then I felt like he came back in the fourth and immediately kind of refound that rhythm. What did you learn about the freshman last night?
Yeah, I have a lot of faith in Cade. He's obviously very talented. Not for his injury in high school, he probably would have signed a professional contract and not been here at LSU. So the talent there. I think just the more I continue to get to know him, you see what makes him good, though, is the character and makeup. Even that inning we gave up 3, we made an error, and then he immediately came back, got ahead 1-2, and then I don't know what the deal was with the lights like last night. Like we couldn't catch the ball in the air. They couldn't catch the ball in the air.
Yeah.
It was super bizarre. And so we didn't make a play, but then he struck a guy out, and then the next inning came out, and it was like good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Yeah.
And he's going to be really good here for a long time.
And, Coach, another young player that I want to highlight is Stephen Milam. Everything that he does is fast, but nothing is rushed. It just looks like he has a plan before the ball's hit to him, and he has a plan at the plate, and just doesn't look like he has a freshman mentality.
No, he's a ball player. He's a kid that I've known since he was in 7th grade, so that tells you how long he's kind of been on the radar of college coaches and that type of thing. And just one of those guys that builds his whole life around baseball and has no fear in what he's doing and is coming in and competing at a high level. And it's been a really good lift for our team.
Coach, you've talked about it in the past, but like obviously so much of your expertise lies at the plate, right? And the importance of the leadoff man. It seems like Paxton Linde has been on fire really all year long, but seems to be almost getting better by the game. Finds 3 different ways of getting on base last night. Did you? I mean, surely you started him, obviously, right? But like, how did you feel about Paxton Linde's offseason? Were you expecting him to have this much early success as we've seen?
Well, he's really talented, and he's one of those guys you just kind of keep working on. And when he has that kind of athletic ability, it's going to click at some point. And so we've made a good breakthrough, I would say. And there's certainly more to do, but he is so talented that, even when he's not perfect, he can impact the game with his speed and with his defense, and he has power. Now it's just making that, be skill, over and over and over again, where if he does that, he's going to be a dominating caliber player. And so I think we're seeing some of that right now and really excited about it. He's improved his mindset, and we're seeing some of the fruits of all that work that Paxton's put in.
Coach, nobody ever wants to lose any games, and I know you especially are very hard-pressed about that when it comes to pushing your team to treating every single game, really being present matters the most. How do you feel, though, your team responded last week to the first time of being on the other side of that win-loss ledger?
Yeah, I think they did a good job. We have this thing, you hear about I don't know what football coaches call it, like a 24-hour rule. It's you celebrate. You're going to celebrate for 24 hours. Like in baseball, there's failure. Like you're not going to win every game. So we just want to show up the next day and kind of trick the other team with our energy, our body language, our attitude that, wait a minute, I thought we beat them yesterday. They don't look like it had any impact on them at all. And they've done a good job of that. And there's certainly improving that you want to do. And as much as us coaches would like to have all that come where you're winning every game, sometimes losing a game captures their attention a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And that's just human nature. And hopefully, that's part of what's happened. I think we've improved the last couple games, and hopefully we'll see more of that going forward.
Coach, something we were talking about before you hopped on was the catcher position, and we've talked about it before, having 3 guys, but last night, like, Hayden gets on base multiple times. He drives in a run. Brady Neal hits a couple of home runs. He's got 5 RBIs. It's such a unique situation. So, like, when you have that and these guys are all playing well, Alex comes in as well, like, what goes into maybe deciding who is going to be behind the plate that night? Is it a situation like the old Atlanta Braves, like Javi Lopez would be the guy and then Eddie Perez would catch Greg Maddux? Like, is it going to be by pitcher or just by feel?
No, there's some of that by pitcher. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, if a pitcher likes to throw to, like, a bigger target,
yeah,
then you'd want to go with Hayden. You know what I mean? Because he's bigger physically. That would be one, like, small thing that wouldn't necessarily make the decision, but I would take into consideration. Obviously, there's the pitching matchup on the other side. There's the rest matchup. There's how we could deploy them throughout the game. You know, if teams are going to be more right-handed or left-handed out of the bullpen, is the wind blowing out on a particular day? Is it blowing in? There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. I'm very thankful for all of those guys. They all bring something a little bit different to the table. And, you know, I really enjoy getting to coach baseball at LSU, and those 3 guys, having them on the team, you know, Hayden and Alex for all 3 years, kind of surprised we were able to get them back this year. And then, you know, Brady from recruiting in here for 2 years. It's been one of the best parts about being here is our catching situation.
Talking to Coach Jay Johnson here on OTB, and Coach, this is one of everybody's favorite times every single year, the Astros Foundation Classic going down this weekend. Y'all are already in Texas and coming up this Friday. I mean, I just got goosebumps. It doesn't get bigger than this from a brand name standpoint. LSU, Texas, and both teams excellent again this year. I know every opponent, you treat as that opponent, but like, are the boys feeling a little juiced right now? Is there a little something extra in the air?
Well, we had great energy in the game last night. Like, I'm all for them, you know, being on top of it and going for it, and, you know, sometimes getting a little chippy. But even a couple times last night, I had to say, like, hey, let's pull the reins just a little. And I hardly ever do that. So they feel good. We got a good day of rest on Monday when we drove over here. Got a ton of sleep. Got a good rest on Tuesday before a nighttime practice. Got a full day of rest before playing. So I think they're excited, and, you know, they all say they want to be major league players. So get to play in what I think is becoming an iconic major league stadium, and you know, our obviously connection with it being, you know, pretty local, and, you know, there's a lot of good things. And then just the matchup's great. I mean, we're facing, you know, arguably the top 5 pitcher in the country on Friday night, and they're playing well right now. They're swinging the bat, and so this could be a great game. This could be a lot of fun.
Coach, does playing different teams in different days like you've had over the last 2 weekends help you prepare for playing 3 different teams in 3 days, like just from preparing and feeling like you have the analytics of each team?
Oh, man, thank God for Jamie Tutko. And I got to be honest, my eyes were a little sore for trying to sort out video on 4 teams this week. Like, there's a lot of computer time going on in the office. But, you know, we kind of got ahead. Like, Sunday night, I did basically everything I do on Rice, so that was helpful. And then I spent Monday, which I normally don't jump a game ahead, but you kind of have to in this situation. Yeah. And Monday, I did a bunch on Texas's offense. Today, I'm going to do a ton on Hebert and Johnson and their key bullpen guys, and then even start moving ahead to Louisiana Lafayette. So I love the challenge of it, but it's time consuming, that's for sure.
I know you can't answer this, but I got to ask it, but you don't have to answer it. Who's going to start on Friday?
Yeah, I don't know anybody else's rotation, so nobody else.
Okay, perfect. Yep. Okay, just making sure. And then
people don't understand that. It's like, hey, we're going to come out and we're going to play a 4-3 defense with no idea what the other team's going to do.
That's right. Fair. Yes. Okay. What about this then? And I know you've talked about this in the past, but I think it's worth, and we'll let you go after this. But the recruiting benefit of this game, we all know about what Texas means to LSU athletics in general, in terms of a lot of the great athletes that have come over from that area, especially the Houston area, largest alumni fan base, all that. Like, how much value do you put in that aspect of this weekend?
It's huge. I mean, our 2 of our top recruits for next year, right-handed pitcher Kason Evans from St. Pius. He's a real dude. He's got the makeup, character, pitchability, all that type of stuff. He's from right around here. K. Darren Beatty, a catcher from Tomball. We're losing Hayden and Alex. And so he's a big piece of this thing. So they're from right around here, and if it's not our top recruiting area in the country, it's pretty darn close. And just a small story, both those guys, obviously came to see us play here when we were here 2 years ago, and the impact of getting into play in games like that only happens if you're LSU or you're actually a big leaguer with the Astros.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't happen anywhere else. So it's a really big deal.
Coach, you are the absolute best. It's Coach Jay Johnson. The Astros Classic coming up this weekend. Cannot wait. Texas at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Ooh, goosebumps again. Coach, thank you so much, man. You have an excellent day.
All right, you guys too. Thank you.